Welcome to another tutorial on Fortigate Firewall. Today in this video, I'm going to show you how you can integrate TACACS Plus authentication with the Fortigate Firewall. And the version here is 721 build 1254. And on the right side of the screen, you can see the GUI access. And I have the documentation available as well. So this is the documentation. I'll share the link in the description. You can refer to the commands that you will have to run to configure the TACACS Plus. All right, so if you go to GUI and if you go to user and authentication, you will not see the option of TACACS Plus here. So you will have to enable the TACACS Plus profile, and then you should be able to see the TACACS Plus option here. So let's try to do that. Okay, so coming back to our CLI, config user TACACS Plus. Now we'll have to name the TACACS Plus profile. Now we have the server name, TACACS Plus. Let's try to set some parameters. Authorization enable. And then we'll have to set the IP address. And then we'll have to copy paste the IP address of the TACACS Plus server, which is, in my case, 190. And then you will have to set the key, and you can get this key from the TACACS Plus server. For example, so you can see here, I've set the key to my key. So I'll set the same here on Fortigate Firewall. And then I'll set the authentication type as chat. You will have to do it explicitly because auto config will not work with TACACS Plus on Fortigate Firewall. Now we have the minimal configuration inside the TACACS Plus server name that we have created. Now you should be able to see the option of TACACS Plus inside user and authentication. So you can see here, this is the TACACS Plus server. So now we have the TACACS Plus configured. Let's try to check out the configuration here on GUI. So you can see here connection status as OK. You can click on test to test it again. And you have the option of setting secondary server and tertiary server, which in my case I do not have. So click OK, go back. The next step is to create the group. You can do it from the GUI by going to this option under user and authentication user group. We can do it from the CLI as well. Let's try to do it from CLI. Config user group, edit, and the name of the group. So I have named it as TACACS. Okay, so now I have the name. So now you will have to set the member to the TACACS profile that we have created. You can see here, this is the profile that we have. So this was the TACACS plus profile that we have created. So we are going to use the same as a member inside the group. So we have the name of the group and the member set to TACACS plus. Coming back to our GUI, if you refresh the GUI, you will see the option of user groups. Inside that, you will see TechTalkSecurity plus group created. And coming to the next step, well, this is not really required. This is for per user basis. If you would like to do so, then you can follow this configuration. For now, we want all the user to get authenticated through a single TechTalkSecurity plus server. So in the third step, you will have to create the access profile so that you can control who can perform the activity on the firewall. So let's try to create the access profile. I guess I already have a custom access profile. Let's try to check that. So if you come to system admin profile, you will see this. So I have created this already, no access, where there's no access given as such. And if you want, you can create your own custom access profile there. So now we already have the access profile created. I'll show you in CLI as well. You can see here, no access. All right, let's try to create the administrator here. So as of now, the firewall is not configured to allow the authentication through the ACS, sorry, TechTalkSecurity plus server. So we'll try to configure that from the CLI. If you want, you can do it from the GUI as well. But there are certain commands that will only work from CLI access. For example, setting the wildcard and then the override, I guess. Let's try to see. Okay, so let's try to create the system administrator so that we can allow the user from the TechTalkSecurity plus user base to access the firewall and do the changes as per their privileges on TechTalkSecurity plus server. Config system admin, you can do it from the GUI once again, confirming the same. Now we'll have to edit the profile and we have to give the name. Let's give it as okay. Now let's try to set the remote auth enable. So here you can set the access profile to no access or super admin or whatever access profile you would need. But I'll show you another option to override this particular privilege on the Fortigate firewall and instead entertain the privileges from the TechTalkSecurity plus server that we will configure there. So let's try to do that. Let's try to call no access, okay, which means the user should not have any access. should not have any specific access to do any changes to the firewall. Set the VDOM. Since we have only one VDOM, I'm going to set it as root. Set the wildcard so that we can match all the users. Set the remote group, which is our TACACS group. And now comes the override, which is our access profile override. So this will override the privileges under no access and will entertain the privileges from the TACACS plus server that we are going to set. So now the override is enabled. This is done. And now let's try to check this out on our GUI. So you can see here the option, you can see the access profile, no access, and type is remote plus wild. And two-factor authentication is disabled. If you go edit, well, you have limited options here. For example, match all the user in the remote server group, which is the wildcard, and the administrator profile, no access, and the remote user group obviously is going to be the one that we created under the group section. So now this is done. Let's go back to the article. Now, next thing is to set up our TechTalks Plus server. So they have given some basic example of how you should have the group configured on the TechTalks Plus server. And I guess on the TechTalks Plus server, I already have a profile from my last deployment. So this is the configuration. Let me explain you the same. So I have already created a profile. For example, read only, admins, and no access. Read only is default service permit. No such access profile privileges set. Admins, if you come, you will see default service as permit, and I have called the Fortigate service, and I've set the admin profile to super admin, which is the same as what we find in the Fortigate super admin. So I've called this. So what it's going to do is it is going to entertain, the firewall is going to entertain the super admin even if it is set to no access. So that's what the override does. Okay, so I have three groups, default permit, service Fortigate I have called, and I have set the admin profile to super admin. And the last one is the no access. Well, obviously here I have admin profile to no access, service Fortigate. And we have users created, and we have aligned the users to these three groups. Coming down to the configuration, I have test 3 in group no access. Similar, login is this, password is this, chap. So we have enabled chap there on our TechTalks Plus configuration, chap. So user 2, test 2 is in read only, and test 1 is in admins. So we are going to copy the same configuration to our main configuration profile, which is let's try to go to the configuration profile. So this is the configuration profile. So you will have to edit everything here. Like I said, we'll have to first copy paste the group. Let's try to copy this. So now we have the group configuration here. Let's try to copy the user as well. Test1, test2, test3. So now that we have the group and the user created and configured, next would be to test the same. Now let's try to rewrite the file. And then we'll have to reload the service. Let's try to check the port if it is open. So you can see here, the port is open, TCP port. It runs on top of TCP. And I'll show you the capture as well. Okay, so go to the Fortigate Firewall, and in order to test the same, you will have to use the command diagnose test auth server TACACS plus the server name, and then the username. So we have 3 users created: test1, test2, test3. Let's try it with test1, and the password is password. Now let's try to test the same. Okay, seems like the configuration is not loaded yet. Let me try to reload it again. Seems like the syntax is incorrect. Instead of IP, we should be giving the TechTalkSecurity server that we have created. This one. So you can see here, succeeded. Authentication user test1 on server TechTalkSecurity plus succeeded. Admin profile super admin. Let's try to check for test2. So there is no admin profile attached for the user 2. You can see it here, test2. There's no admin profile added. It is in read only. Let's try to check the status for the third one, test3. No access. No access. no access is admin profile, no access, and read only. We don't have any admin profile set. So everything is working fine. Let's try to check the packet capture. Let me try to get that PCAP. So this is the PCAP capture from firewall to the TACACS Plus server. So it is a simple TCP communication where you will see three-way handshake and then authentication request and then response. So as you can see, authentication, minor version TACACS Plus, major version TACACS Plus, minor version 1, type authentication, sequence number, bunch of flag, and it is encrypted. And in response to that, you will see authentication R. You see the flag here. Let's try to follow it. So you can see here three-way handshake and then the authentication request, which is encrypted, and then the response. After that, the user is permitted with all the access profile privileges set on the TACACS Plus. Pretty simple. I'll show you the content once again. These are the flag, session ID for each session, packet length, encrypted request, response, encrypted. Now let's try to check the status of our users that we have created. Let's try to do it with test one. So you can see here, test one, which is having the super admin access, is able to log into the device. Let's try to check the status for test two. You can see here, this account is using a restricted access profile, limited permission. Now we'll try to use test three. And you can see here again, this account is using a restricted access profile with limited permission. Test three is in no access. So it seems everything is working as per our configuration. And that's all in this video. See you in the next one. And please do not forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Bye-bye.